Hi students, this is Laura Davidson and I want to introduce you to our online course for this summer. I'm excited to work with all of you. I also want to let you know that I'm very committed to being there when you need me. If you ever need help, you can email me or request by email a Zoom conference so we can meet kind of face-to-face virtually. I'd also like to mention that when you email, please send an email through the Canvas email. It helps me to keep things organized. And phone is probably not the best since I'm not on campus this summer. But in a couple of minutes here, I want to introduce you to the course and kind of show you how you should work through things to ensure that you are successful. So this is your course, but you should always click into modules because this course is arranged in units, and the units, of course, are called modules. So we're going to look at the first unit, but before we do, I wanted to mention something. This is an accelerated version of this course. We are completing this course in a little short of 6 weeks. Keep in mind that in a regular semester, you have about 45 hours of class time in the classroom. You have another 90 or so hours because the rule is at least 2 hours out of class for every 1 hour in class. So that is about a minimum of 135 hours that you spend on a 3-credit course like this one. Now divide that by 6 for 6 weeks and you've got 22 hours per week. So you need to go into this course expecting that it's a lot of work, but also expecting that if you complete the work and then you stay on top of it, you will be successful. So let's look at this work. This is the modules page, which is again where you'll find your work. There are some support services for CCP students listed at the top. The college has done a great job of putting everything online and allowing virtual meetings in most areas, so that is all indicated here. Now, when you paid for your course, you were hooked up with Wiley, okay, and the registration process is pretty simple. Basically, when you click into any of the Wiley links in your course, you'll be led through registering with Wiley, and then Wiley will send a confirmation code that you enter. It's not a registration code, it's just a confirmation that you gave them your actual email, and then you're in and you have access to everything. Don't hesitate to let me know if you're having any problems with that because, again, through Zoom, you can share your screen with me and I can help you out. Now, in order to start the course, we really need to introduce ourselves to each other. So that is what's listed under these extra credit points. Take time to finish this assignment and you get 5 extra credit points added on your first exam. So this is a discussion board and it will give you a little time to practice that as well. I'm pretty detailed when I write instructions, so you'll see a lot of words, but if you take the time to read them, I think they'll clarify what you need to do. Okay, so that is an optional assignment, but I encourage you to do it. We're trying to build an online community, and it's nice when we get to know each other. All right, so now to the nitty-gritty here. This is the first unit. The first unit begins on May 18th, and it ends on May 24th. To make things easy for you, every assignment is set to the same due date. So you don't have to worry. You've got this much work to finish in a week. Okay, that's really important to understand. Now, it looks like a lot, and it is, but many of these things are rather quick assessments, something like the video quiz, which we'll look at. So don't get overwhelmed. Just work through it as it's organized. And I want to talk a little bit about that. Each unit has a nutrition applied assignment. This is an assignment in which you explore some things beyond the textbook and you apply the principles you learn from your textbook to your own diet. each Nutrition Applied assignment has a tutorial which explains it in detail. So again, don't panic, don't become overwhelmed, read the assignment, watch the tutorial, and get started. Now, there will be several chapters in each unit. This unit has 3 chapters. So this is the best way to work through things, and I can almost guarantee you success if you do so, remembering that this takes a good bit of time. Go in order. Just go right in order. This assignment, of course, covers the entire unit, so you can do that either first or last or work on it throughout. But for the chapter assignments, go in order. So this tells you read chapter 1. Now I'm going to show you where chapter 1 is probably the easiest to find. If you go under the work module, you'll find your textbook. Okay, and everything that is numbered with a 1 is chapter 1. So I'm asking you to read it. Keep in mind that in an online course, the reading is essential. It's always essential, but it's especially essential in an online course. The next assignment is the lecture, but I don't have 3 hours or 6 hours of lecture here. I have about 15 minutes. This mini lecture kind of highlights some important things you should take note of, introduces you to things beyond the textbook, which you might see in the discussions. You absolutely must listen to the lecture, and quite often I give away test questions as well. Read the chapter, listen to the lecture. Complete the reading quiz. And again, this is a Wiley quiz, so it is set up as a Wiley quiz. You can click into the questions, or I would recommend clicking next, and you'll be taken through the questions. As you answer the questions, you need to submit your answer, and then also at the end of this quiz, you need to send it to the gradebook. Now, these are not timed, so you can complete 3, and then perhaps you have to run off to work or another obligation and come back later. But you must complete these by the deadline. Because this is such a rapid fire course, we are not allowing late assignments except in very unusual circumstances. So get your work in on time. The video quiz is next. Chapter 1, video quiz. You're going to click into that. This gets a little tricky because students panic and say, where's the video? If you click the next button, as you should, you can see, click here to view the video. So look at the policies as well. Okay, it's there. This is almost a guaranteed 100% because you can watch the video over and over. You can open the video in a new tab and then refer to the video as you answer the questions. So remember, there are a lot of different types of assessment in this course, but that's great because that allows you more chances to increase your average. And then lastly, in this chapter, and I'll tell you, I'm a very kind of organized, compulsive person. This is how you're going to see the units look from now on, the same type of organization. The last thing is our class discussion. Okay, class discussions are discussion boards, and you need to not only reply to the question, but you need to also reply to one of your classmates' replies. So after you post your response, then you can look around or come back later and reply. Now, be sure to look at the rubric for this assignment. And I believe in you. Okay, there we go. Show rubric. To see how this assignment is graded. Because one thing you don't get much credit for, if any, is just a simple response like, yes, I think this is important. Oh, great answer. I feel that way too. This is supposed to simulate an actual discussion. You know, we're getting to know each other, we're learning from each other. One of the fantastic things about nutrition class is that we learn so much from each other because we all have different experiences around food, around health, around issues regarding food access or our knowledge of foods and different food products. So these type of discussions become very, very important. Okay, you have to reply. And I did want to show you one thing when you reply. So when you do click into the reply, there are a lot of options here. You can embed an image. You can attach a file as well. That's down here on the bottom. Okay, so there are a number of different things you can do with this reply. I occasionally do ask you for an image of the food product we're talking about. So remember, you can embed the image or you can attach it right here for sure. Okay, and that is how this course is structured. Now, that was only one chapter, and you'll see the same for chapter 2, the same for chapter 17. Then you have the exam. And remember that when you begin to take the exam called Quiz in Canvas, it is timed. So you need to make sure you have good solid internet connection and some quiet time for sure. And also understand that this exam is set so you can't go back. You must only go forward. So you have to answer the question, be sure about it, and move on. The answers are scrambled. The questions are scrambled. This is something you should be doing independently for sure. Okay. Now, again, all of that is set to allow a week, but to allow you to do it in your time frame within that week. If you want to take Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of each week, assign a chapter to each day, then finish up on Thursday, that's up to you. If the weekends are better for you and you know that you can devote lots of time on the weekend, that's up for you to you as well. And remember, this Nutrition Applied assignment is a couple of hours as well. So all in all, when you add up the time required, it's a good bit of time, but keep in mind this is an accelerated course. So your chapters are underneath, and I wanted to introduce one other thing that you won't have to focus on for a while, but maybe you can have in the back of your mind to think about, and that's a special topic in nutrition. For our 6th week, that is going to be devoted to your course project. And for this course project, you will use a website called Padlet, and you will actually open a free account in Padlet and create a bulletin board. A bulletin board that covers a topic of interest to you. So this is a fun assignment where you can choose something that you are very, very interested in. Perhaps phytochemicals and cancer, or one aspect of sports nutrition, something you'd really like to dig into. I'm showing you the rubric here because there are specific content areas and aesthetic areas that are graded for sure. So you don't have to start this, but you can begin thinking about this final project as you move forward. And if you'd like to start it, you can just work on your Padlet as you go through the course. Okay, so that is your introduction. Go ahead and introduce yourselves on the discussion board to the other students, and I will be talking to you soon. Take care.